Yo, everybody come get your bounce on, get your bounce on, get your bounce on. Don't be cute with it, you gotta get, come on. Fifth ward, fourth ward. Come on, sing it.
When I close my eyes and think of you and reminisce on all the things you do, I can't imagine my life without you. It's like paradise now, I know that it's real. It's a mystery for someone to give that up just for me.
Come on.
What you did on Calvary makes me wanna love you
Watch
more.
this.
Put your hands together as we welcome to the podium to give the very first talk in our second session, Pastor Mrs. Anna Oye Banjo. Let's put our hands together very quickly as she comes up. I said put your hands together. Okay, your hands are occupied. God bless you, man.
Thank you very much. Please remain be seated. Good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon.
Would you permit me to start on existing protocols, please? Yes? By God's grace, I have the permission of my family to share what I want to share today. It's fine. They say, you know what, share, because we believe that we can be vulnerable, because when we tell our story, somebody will learn from it. And this is ministry. When others, you don't have to go through the issues I went through. You don't necessarily have to go through. The curve should be easier for you. That's why I'm here. So when I meet God in heaven, I'm going to refer to you as somebody I've raised up. You stood on my shoulders because I opened up my shoulders for you to come into it. Praise the name of the Lord. So the first thing to note for me as a pastor's wife is, oh no, not a pastor. I didn't want to marry a pastor. Anybody here who never really wanted to marry a pastor? Anybody who married a pastor? And there are some of us, we are pastors. God created us as pastors' wives. We married pastors. Let me see your hand. Please, can you put your hands together for the pastors' wives? This one. Oh dear. Oh, God bless you. This one. But you notice there are 0.02. They are like 1% of the people here. It means we are all the same. We didn't marry pastors. We married bro. Or we married Deji. Some people marry bro. We marry your papa, you know, Michael, Nicolo. Do you understand? Those were who we married. In fact, those days, I remember a pastor came, a gym pastor. A pastor sisters were received me and came to me. I gave him nail, 6 inches nail. 6 because in my head, pastor, me pastor. I said, the fact that you're a pastor, sorry, God didn't tell me I'm going to marry a pastor. So by the time I entered, I married my bro, translating into a pastor. I was in it and I'm like, are we here? But by that time, God was also started working on me. Praise the Lord. But I remember when they told Papa he was going to be a pastor, he came home from Solid Rock. We're going to go and start another parish. He came and said, hey, Pastor Adeko will just come in to say this and that. But I told him, I'm going to pray about it. I don't think I will go. I said, you will go, my husband. Because by then, I knew that there is a call of God in his life. I knew this is meant for something. Praise the name of the Lord. But I still remember the day he was called out to be prayed for. He was sobbing like a baby. I was also crying in my little place. So Lord. And then he came home and said, you know my greatest challenge. I said, what? He said, how will I be getting someone to preach every Sunday? That was his concern. And you know, by the time we're 10 years, 20 years in ministry, he looked back and said, Hannah, in 20 years or so and above now by God's grace, he says, look, I never preach a sermon twice. God is faithful. God is faithful. So the point we're making here is, we didn't plan to marry pastors, but that's where we are. Now, what's my philosophy or some of my philosophies? Number one, this life I have is one life. The deliverables and the expectations, the divine expectations of God upon my life, it is timed. There's timetable to it. Hello? So I'm speaking to you. The deliverables of heaven, just like in the corporate setting. So I've been in corporate, I've been in business and in community, and we talk a little about your areas where you can put your life into, so your life can be very meaningful and impactful. Praise the Lord. Now, from a corporate point of view, you know what it is. When you take on a job, a role, there's a JD, right? There are deliverables, there are expectations. From God's agenda, His calendar, His divine itinerary for your life, where you should be at a point in time, or you should deliver. Marrying a pastor is not strange to God. He puts you in there. There are things you have to deliver on that role, and other auxiliary and other important roles is put around you. Your life must not be on a standstill because of the challenges. Because there are times. Because once you miss a timeline for an assignment, you may not be able to recover it. I don't know if somebody is following me. I'll tell you about some of the traumas we've been through, I've been through, and we've been through as a family. But what keeps me going is many times. Say with me, many times. I will hear people who don't even know me and know the issues I'm going through. And they will say to me, the Lord is telling me to tell you that the issues you are going through is a distraction. The enemy wants to distract you. It's just to waste your time. It's to take you away from the focus and all of that. Praise the Lord. So flip it to yourself. For all that you care, most of the issues you are going through is because the devil just wants to take your eyes off. Number 2 philosophy I stand on is, which is easier, believing God by man or changing the complex narrative by God? Let me explain. Sometimes I think God's assignment is more difficult than my assignment. Let me put it this way. Somebody is been to the hospital, you're told you cannot have any children anymore. Yeah? Confront. Your womb, you don't even have a womb, for example, and all of that. And then God expects you to believe Him, yes, to have a womb. You can't do anything about it, fixing, giving yourself a womb, right? Which is more difficult? God's task seems more difficult. Hello? But with Him, Luke 1:37, nothing is impossible, right? But from a fixing point of view, He has bigger headache fixing it. My job is to believe Him to fix it. I can't fix it anyway. I can't fix it anyway. So I better just then rest on His hands and say, God, is your headache? Fix it. Praise the name of the Lord. This is another of my philosophy that keeps me going and keeps us going as a family. How can God lead you into a complex situation? How can He lead in your life challenges? How would you make you go through the part of the Red Sea whereas there are plain grounds that He should have taken you through? Hello? Do you notice that sometimes the issue of your life is like God just orchestrated you and arranged you and lured you and cornered you into a complex situation where you don't seem to have a headway, the only thing that can then happen, which is the only natural, logical, sensible, responsible thing to do, will be a miracle. And a miracle is coming your way. Do you know marriage is a setup? It's a divine setup. The day I got that revelation about marriage as a divine, anything my husband was married, I just took it, okay, I'm in this. The Lord began to make me see that, look, I arrange you into this situation where I'm sandpapering you. Hello. Do you know what it is to sandpaper? You know what it is to sandpaper? So I'm sandpapering you. You won't like it at all. But every time I rub you, I'm making you better. Like silver trying the furnace. You are becoming more like God because you can't leave it. Hello? So He puts you and tells you can't divorce or you can't leave. Is that not a setup? So if your mentality is I cannot leave, so I have to make it work. Give a woman high five, say you're making it work. Come on. Say you're gonna make it work. Come on. Hallelujah. Am I strong every time? No. Are there times of tears and queries? Absolutely yes. So it's God's responsibility to show up, but it's my job to be still praising God, knowing that He's God, He's going to show up. And if He chooses to show up, He shows up, He still shows up because He's God. When we see, we can then ask Him in face, the Holy Spirit, what happened? You disappointed me, but by then we know. But we know Him that He doesn't fail. Praise the Lord. So the church is supposed to be a place where we have burden bearers, where we should be vulnerable and all of that. Again, let's flip it again. Go again. Many times God seems too silent. Hello? Psalm 3 verse 1, one of my favorite verses, it says, how are they increased that trouble me? Many there be that say of my soul, there is no help for him in God. It's the Lord, lift up, rise up for me. Praise the name of the Lord. Sometimes we say, Lord, why are you hiding yourself? Why are you hiding your face in the time of adversity? Does God seem far away sometimes? Yes. Does it mean that He's doing boju with us? And the Lord used this to explain something to me a few weeks ago. To say when God seems far away, of course it's not far away. And he used the seek and, what do you call it? Hide and seek. To say, do you know that when your child is doing hide and seek with you, your child knows you are around? Because he's seen some of the elements from me. This is your bag, your shoe. He probably had even seen you enter the room, right? And then you hid, and then he starts looking. Do you know if it's a baby, if it's a young, if it's not too mature, if you hide yourself for a long time, you will start crying. Because you now want her to say, but I thought I saw her. Mommy, where is she or not? And then you appear. Same thing with God. He's the God that hides. He hides deliberately. He's there. He might be hiding. He might seem to be. Praise the Lord. Praise the name of the Lord. Praise the name of the living Jesus. Amen. I can go ahead, right? Thank you. So there are some survival keys I've used, or I want to share. Number one, there are 4 M's of the pastor's wife. Say with me, 4 M's. 4 M's. Number 1, marriage. Say with me, marriage. Number 2, ministry. Number 3, money. Number 4, municipal. When I say municipal, we're talking about community. Praise the name of the Lord. Praise the name of the Lord. Okay, I've spoken about position authority. I will speak to the issue of hooks and faith. Faith hooks, which is my personal revelation. I'll come to that quickly. Next, pastor's wife and ministry. You need to support your husband, right? In church. But let me share one small example I remember. You know, as pastor's wife, he expects you to follow him to church every Sunday. And in some of our meetings, you have to be in workers' meeting, you have to be in all the meetings. When our children were young, and I'm sure I have a witness in the house, pastors' children don't leave churches until 4, 5, 6 sometimes. Before you sleep, on Saturday night, you would have packed bread and butter, sardine and cockroach. You pack everything together. That's how you carry the cooler. Are you with me? Lunch, jollof rice will be there. Because after service, there are meetings after meetings after meetings. There was a time my children began to say, Mom, must we be in church with you? They began to say, must we be in church with you? We finished service since 12. This is 2. We are still here and all of that. And it dawned on me. And I began to find a way to say, sorry, Daddy, continue meetings. I'll take the children. We are going home. You will meet us at home. So I'm putting this to you as a pastor's wife. Wisdom is profitable to direct. Let me tell you how it impacts you. By the time you get home by 4, by the time you arrive home by 4 or 5, you are racked. There is school tomorrow. You've not done the homework. Sometimes you are doing it in church. That's crazy. Permit the use of mine. Permit me. Okay? And then by the time you get home, remember, pastor wants to eat lunch. Right? Or eat pounded yam, or eat amala. You go to the kitchen, you make that. Is then on Sunday you will remember you have not even washed their uniforms. And then you start to wash, find a way to dry, iron it, even pants, put it under towel. And for the children, socks. What? We are real now. Praise God. Praise the name of the Lord. So there was this Sunday, we've been transferred to another parish. And I realized my spiritual life was having trouble. I was gasping for life at that point in time. And I decided I was going to do something about it. And Sunday seemed to be the very best day for me. You know what I did? So on Sunday, I would wake up. Papa would have prayed. Because we normally pray in the morning. My dear, I'm not going to church today. I'm not. First time, okay. By second time, no. I'm not going to take that. As my wife, I need you by my side. And we are in this together. In my head, I say, oh no, baby. But anyway, I'm with you. But yes. You know, we're in this. And by the way, what example do you think it will be showing to others if you are not with me and all? But you know, Sunday morning, I carry my atibaba, my canopy on my head. I wear my helmet. I wear my beautiful hat. And I'm smiling. Oh, Pastor Hannah. My mommy, and I'm laughing. In my heart, I'm dying. There was a Sunday, I said, Papa. He said, Hannah, we are going. I said, we are not going. I said, you should go. My spirit is with you. I began to smile and do everything. And he said, okay. But you know, immediately he left. I shut the door. Because they had all gone. I was alone. I pulled my dress. I wept. I went on the floor. Lord, I'm dying. I need to refire me, Lord. Something is missing. You know, the 4 hours they were away in church was like 3 weeks retreat for me. By the time they came back, he saw brother smile because I was refreshed. What am I dropping here quickly? As pastor's wife, you need to know how to take charge of your life. Somebody said, you can't give what you don't have. If you don't take time to receive, you can't deliver. It is those meetings you expect people say, Pastor Anna, please just handle worship for us 5 minutes. You will just come and entertain. But when you are loaded, only 1 minute will bring his glory. Because you bring the atmosphere into the meeting. It is not the atmosphere of the church, it's your own atmosphere. You are the ministry. Praise the Lord. Praise the name of the Lord. Okay, so let me run quickly. So discover your ministry. That's the point I'm making. Focus on your ministry. Release the grace, because when you focus on your ministry, you will release the grace that will mesmerize your misery and make you a mystery to your world. So stay in your office. Quickly, let me talk about pastor's wife and money and enterprise. I told you that my husband, so I saw by like 19 years I'm married, my husband's were 26 now. I saw one day, I was looking at the wardrobe and I saw a paper had written. And I wrote there, my dear husband, I know you are a wonderful man, but in the last 15 years, I know you have not been able to do what you would like to do for me. And I'm praying that God will enable you. I put them in like 15 years. This guy hasn't been able to do it. It isn't that he's trying here and there because, well, he was trying to do business, another story altogether and all of that. And I began to pray. I said, God, if you gave me this husband, or if we are doing your work, it is the man's responsibility to feed the family and to do a lot for the family. You must raise him up. Where I bring 10, he must bring by times 10. That became my prayer. That became my prayer. But you know God answers prayers. As we speak today, I can sit at home, not do any work. God has lifted him. He's an Ijebu man, so he behaves very Ijebuish. You know those people, Ijebu people. Still, praise the Lord. Mama said, still my name. Praise the name of the Lord. So, woman, you must be empowered. Turn to someone, say, you must be empowered. You must be empowered. So, I just want you to let you know that the widow's wife was a saleswoman. Esther had expertise in wine and banqueting. You'll be surprised. She could have been a strong entrepreneur. We know about Dorcas and all of that. So let me talk about faith hooks quickly. God began to explain to me one of how you can really hold on despite your problems. There is what I call faith hooks. Say with me, faith hooks. What's a hook? A hook hooks you. It's like an anchor. It holds you down. Now, for every one of us, if you really think about it, you see that God put hooks on your pathway. These are things that will make you hold on. These are things that will make you believe in. These are little nuggets, little manifestations of graces that will make you hold on for tomorrow. If you discountenance them, you're losing your hook. You can't hold on. But if you stay on them, you will see. Sarah, for example, there were three, in my opinion, there are 3 areas God put big hooks into the life of Sarah. The first was when she requested for Hagar, and the husband married Hagar, and Abraham took it to the Lord, and God told Abraham, hearken to the voice of Sarah. That was a hook, number 1. God was with her. Praise the name of the Lord. Number 2, at some point, God told God told Abraham, change her name. Her name is changing. Are you with me? From Sarai to Sarah. So each time you call Sarah, you're calling mother of nations. But that was another hook, right? That was another hook. The third hook, which I believe is the biggest one, is where God came in scriptures, I think Genesis 18, and God said, where is Sarah thy wife? That was before Sodom was destroyed, right? The angels visited and said, where is Sarah thy wife? And Sarah heard. Sarah was behind the tent. And Sarah laughed. And God said, Sarah, you laughed. Sarah said, no, I didn't laugh. That was the biggest hook. How? Why? Because I'm sure Sarah would have said, wow, who is this God that even saw that I laughed behind the tent? Who is this God that heard the heart conversation of my impossible state of mind to say, me, at this age, how can I give? And what is he talking? That God is talking gibberish. God is waiting to give us direct personal encounters. Do you know that 14 months before we had the twins, we had them, they are a set of twins. That is 2 months before I ever got pregnant. God gave us their names. I never knew we were going to have twins. We just had those 2 names prophetically. When I was pregnant, Scan said it's twins, and I was asking my husband, what will we call them? He said, those names God gave. I said, that's true. So we call them by those names. Hello. For me, when it's really tight, when we are going through it really bad, I remember I said, God, you call them by their names. So it doesn't matter what we are going through. They came from you. Like one of my sisters would say when we are praying, when we are sharing, we didn't collect them from Iggy. We didn't collect them from Iroko. We didn't get them from elsewhere. If they came from you, you can take care of them. You can take care of them. Praise the Lord. And let me encourage you. If your child is going that way and is dropping, don't worry, he's going to come up again. A child birth on the nails, birth from above, any lolobo, they go and come back. After all, we did our own. Didn't I backslide? I don't backslide. I backslide before now. Before I come from slide again. That kind of thing. I beg. Praise the Lord. So let's show. I missed it all. Me, I'm running and I'm doing my things. Praise the Lord. I'm in career. By God's grace, I sit on the board of a few companies. But go on, just keep moving. Yes, we run yearly worship festival. We run Operation Moriah, prophetic worship. I do when women worship. This one started this year, sir. This one. We did, guys, let me tell you about this girl conference, this girl's conference. The foundation, this foundation, Pastor Debola, God bless you, man. You remember this foundation? We launched it 13 years ago. I was 40 years, and this was it. And I launched this, which is what you do to community. And Her Excellency spoke to that a lot. See what she's been doing. Praise the Lord. So you can't sit and say you're a pastor's wife. You just wear hat or no hat. We just go to church on Sunday, following. There is no ministry called pastor's wife. It's not a ministry. There's no reward for pastor's wife. No. If you are a child evangelist, go and do child evangelism. Whatever thing, if you are a singer, sing. One day, a big pastor came to our church and I was singing. And he's known me since 20 years ago that I'll handle microphone and sing. And he said, you are still singing. He said, honey, I'm humble. He said, I'm happy about your humility. He said, many times people like that, I was zonal pastor's wife. You know, that zonal pastor's wife, you are still taking praise worship and all of that. I said, is it not my calling? Is it not where God has put me? Praise the Lord. So I'll round up on this. So the Brighton Future Foundation, man, after that, like 7 years into it, we were doing well, very well, but I got busy with career. And I couldn't focus on it again. But you know, like 3 years ago, I began to feel if I die today, my regret will be that I dropped this thing. I dropped this commission to the youths. Because education is what brought me to where I am here. So if I drop this, I won't be happy. And you know what? I said, Lord, I'm going. This year, all was free. Everybody who came, God just arranged us better. Ladies and gentlemen, I hereby submit that when you are ready to run, despite the challenges, God is ahead of you. And as you start running, God carries your back. He carries your portfolio. He carries your portmanteau. He carries your issues. He carries your headache. I'll see you at the top.
So the next discussion session, you are part of it. That's why I'm telling you, don't bother going down. So that you won't start climbing up again. Take your rope and we'll see. Don't mind the rope. Not mine.
It's just a loose. I said I can remove the.
You know that's okay.
Hello? You know, John, the thing be one day, I said this thing will be stopped. Oh, we are ready today. Oh, I said I can remove and praise God. Praise the Lord.
Bless you. Thank you very much. Jumake is back there, ready. Please sit beside. So I'll call the other members of this panel, this particular panel.
You know, the church, things happening. Now we have a full panel here. I'd like to come, you know, not sober things up, but you touched on a very important thing of you were going through a lot of stuff and you looked around. There must have been so many people and no one to talk to, nobody to share with. I'm going to start with Reverend Mrs. Olale because I know that she's one of my pastor's best friends. So don't mention her when you say people, it's going to be cheating if they mention each other. That's why I'm calling it out. In all these years, I know you, I know your husband, I know that you're friends with my pastor. but you're not in the same congregation. You don't see each other every Sunday. You don't. I'd like to, because pastors' wives, you will not have the opportunity to gather regularly and be as free with all the smiles I see here, week in, week out. You have to face your own congregation. How do you make friends, being up there as a pastor's wife? How do you pick who you can even confide in? How do you build trust? How do you maneuver? Just build relationships in your own congregation, knowing that it's a vulnerable space for you.
Praise the Lord. I've actually written down some questions and answers here. First of all, I want to thank you, ma'am, for bringing me, for giving the opportunity to be here. It's a great honor, and I really feel encouraged that I can participate in this. Thank you so much, Auntie Lalu, and every one of us. All right. How do I make friends? Well, let me just leave the whatever. I believe that you mean making friends with members of congregation or just generally?
In your congregation.
In congregation. The first thing that I put in mind, bearing in mind that they are Mother Geo, if I put it that way, is the fact that you have to humble yourself first to realize that every woman in that ministry, not all of them are there with a good mindset, but along the line they will get converted based on how you deal with them yourself. You must be very secure and very confident in yourself. Especially when you are in we pastor more of we started with the grassroots. The grassroots, what I mean is when you pastor people, the people that sell pepper and they don't go to school, most of them are illiterate and starting from Mushi, if I put it that way. And then you see yourself among all of these people. And then suddenly there was influx of bankers and all these high class people coming in. And especially when you have much more high class, I don't know how to put it for you, I'm here for your husband, it's my pastor. Because there was even one that actually told me in those days, she traveled a lot to the UK, brought 5 years Guinea brocade, one cat to my special pastor, and didn't even give me a scarf. Yes, ma'am. So you know what I did? I took the 5 years brocade. I was very naughty then because I didn't have any mentor. I must tell you. I came from that background. I was a fighter. I fought for myself in the church. Because I was surrounded by people who physically they are more educated, more intelligent, more everything than me, and they want to put me there. And I said, no, you can't put me there. And anyway, I took the 5 years brocade and of course he had to beg me. I should not do that. I have many people that they are financiers of the gospel. They come in there, but they want to make you irrelevant, and you still have to relate to them. So what I did, I made sure I don't have any favorite. Nobody is my favorite. In fact, I don't have any friend in the church, even up till now, by the grace of God. Yet they are not my enemies. Now my mirror was my friend. I'm telling you my stress testimony. I will dress up very well, I like looking good. Go to my mirror, do my shoulder like, because I'm a singer. And there's one song that I used to sing. Maybe you can help me. Now, I make that to keep my sanity. You don't know what I'm saying. I'm sure I have a witness in the house. I'm telling you, Brother, it helped me build my sanity. So when I come out my shoulder high, and I greet them, Auntie, Mommy, Daddy, you greet them, and before you know it, they start liking you by force. Especially when you don't have complex, Because you try to have complex, you be able to relate with them, then you drive them away. And God has sent them there for you to manage them. So see yourself first, know who you are first. Don't be proud yourself, humble yourself. God has put you there. Try to understand them. And if you, at the end of the day, you don't, anyone is still trying to make attitude and everything else, leave them. Do your own bit in the secret room. I love playing. Do that with your needs. And when you do that, put on your smile. Do this. You know the politician. When a politician comes here, okay, not even more politician, anybody governor, he has not been doing well, but everybody come there. You see people, you just come from the airplane and do like this. and the newspaper will pick them, and some people even bully them. Look at him, they will tell them. So that's why I carry my face. I don't see nobody, I just move away, and that's it. So let me just stop
Discussion on encouraging oneself. Where can you share your prayer points? Where can you not share your prayer points? Who are your prayer partners? How do prayer points, or just that kind of intimate fellowship, you don't want your business to become, those prayer points that are really gossip, to pass information. How do we manage those kind of situations?
Praise God.
Hallelujah.
For me, I have friends from over 40 years, from secondary school, that we're still together today. If I keep saying it to everybody, if you wake my husband up in the middle of the night and you ask him who are Tosi's friends, he knows them. So those are my prayer partners. In church, for me personally, I wouldn't share my prayer points with anybody in church, because we all know who we are in church. You come to church, for example, I trusted God for 20 years before I gave birth. I have one daughter, and some people didn't even know we didn't have any child until 9 years ago, when my mom died, and they saw the program and realized, oh, there's no child bearing Richards on the program. I didn't carry it on my forehead, but my personal friends knew the ache I was going through. They knew, we all had our prayer points, and they knew on a regular basis, Tosi's prayer point is, oh God, please, I want a child, even if it's just one child. Take this shame away from me. How do I go to church and tell them, please pray for me? I need a child, So for me, I feel prayer points are something, they are points that come from the bottom of your heart. The things that touch you the most, the things that pain you the most. We all heard what the vice president's wife said when she came, that she shared at a gathering that she was helping the area boys, and people said she was reformed, that she had been living under the bridge for 10 years. For us women, we need to learn how to keep our mouths shut. If someone comes to us, share your prayer points, you pray, and let it go. Let it go.
Thank you. I just wanted to share that. Yes, old-time friends are better. They are more, you have confidence, trust, you build over time. But in this time and age, so God still has a way of bringing us across few people that you can still bond with. Some few months ago, I was just feeling like going to see a sister. She's a pastor in herself. Her husband is not a pastor. I got to her house. She was shocked. I just called her, "Are you home?" "Yes, I'm coming." And I went. And I was shocked because she just gave me a long look and she said, "Sister Hannah, do you know that I've been praying because I've been broke?" She left work and all that. "I've been broke, no food, nothing." But she's high up in church. And she said, "Look, I just said to God, you mean I don't even have anybody I can call to say, do you know what, I'm this who I can be open to, vulnerable to say, I even need some food or some money and all of that." She said, "I started to pray the last few weeks to say, Lord, give me a friend." She said to me, some of her old friends, her older friends, they are outside Nigeria, so they are not reachable. She said, I was just praying. She said, because once I got there, I just got vulnerable. I don't know why. I got there and I just started stalking, you know. If I bought corn, you know, some of us I bought corn, 2 corn down to say, she said, oh, you bought corn. I said, let's eat this corn, blah, 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 and all that. I think that vulnerability opened out. She said, I've been praying. She said, now I think you are my friend. Guess what? She got into the room when I was about to leave and brought 2 pairs of shoes. She said, what size? I said 41. She said, she just brought 2 pairs of shoes that she's not worn from maybe 2 years ago. She said, these are shoes I like, but they are not my size. You know those things you like, but you don't give away because they are so good. They are so nice. Not your size, though. They are not cheap. So you keep. But let me tell you the testimony. Few weeks before that time, I needed many more shoes. We are being real, right? And I said, Lord, all these my old shoes. I need new shoes. And in my heart, I said, Lord, there's a way you meet my needs. When I need things, even when I choose not to buy, people will just drop, even if it's one, to show and to prove that you are my father, you hear, you care. So when she gave me those, I was in tears. Those shoes. Because I said, and I told her, I said, this is a testimony. I've been praying to say, God, show me love again. And somebody just give me shoe. There you go. Do you see? We were both broken. We prayed. Between then and now, we are chatting, we are talking. And I said to her, if it's that bad, call me, I'll bring food. And of course, you know, I had to do the needful. So we are saying prayerfully, God still knows how to sort us. God still knows how to bring us through people that will be encouragers for the period. Praise God.
Thank you so much. Mrs. Additional, sorry. Now, coming from professional, I'd like to take it from your professional background now. Just the times your pastor's wife, we're going through other things, there's work. I mean, there's so many things I could touch on that I read that crossed my mind when I was, thinking about today and praying. And we talked a bit, just to cross, because it's blurred lines, right? Questions can still come from session 1, session 3. Sometimes you talk about career, you're going through stuff, who can you talk to? We talked about finances. We talked a bit last time about fidelity. We didn't really go into it. People always assume that it's the pastor that's getting attacked. There's a place for loneliness. In encouraging pastors' wives, through now I've mentioned 2 or 3 things. That place of loneliness. You want to talk about career, you feel that people are looking at you like, this is not what, as a pastor's wife, you're supposed to be like above all that, or different things. What would you have to say now to the pastor's wives here today? Just any of these areas I've touched on that you choose to, but not now about prayer or anything, just about life issues of life. Thank you very much.
That touched a chord. And I'd like to say first of all that I've been blessed by every session that we have had here today. And when Her Excellency said me, Rojo, Adura Nimugba, that touched a chord because and I'm getting personal now about my life and where I got to a point in my life where I'm actually it's my conclusion that it's all about me. And so it starts with me. And how I handle it also has to do with how I handle it, of course, with God. And so first it's between me and God before me and any other person. That's right. And one thing is true. It's bad enough that you're a pastor's wife without prior training, without prior schooling, even much against your wish. I didn't marry a pastor. And even when my husband went into ministry, he himself resisted ministry. And then you now find that you are in a ministry and you are put on a pedestal. And I have always had this feeling of, I'm sitting here very much alone and all eyes are on me. And there's just so much that I can catch with my own my single vision. And so you are always in the spotlight. You are always in the limelight. And then you have to manage the home as well. You have the issues of the home, you have the finances, you have the children. And then to top it all, you have career as well. And I'm sure you'll agree that it's more difficult for a career pastor's wife.
Because you always, it's like even at work now, over and above the career, you also have to, you're a pastor then you. Even at work, for everything you do. You have people coming to you and saying, that thing you did, I mean, I'm surprised to think that you're a pastor's wife. Excuse me? And so you find yourself walking through a lot of loopholes, and bottom line is when you're at home and in your room, you can now let down the steam, you can cry, you can do all sorts of things. But it gets to a point, and you get to that point, if you are real with yourself, you have to come to some conclusions. And I came to that conclusion, and that's why that Roger resonates with me, where I had to slug it out with God and say, God, this is first of all between me and you. Before I'm a pastor's wife, I'm a child of God. So how can I walk this journey as a pastor's wife, as a mother, and as a career person, still maintaining my work with you? And it can be very lonely. But I'm a strong believer that with God, there's nothing that is possible. But we just have to learn to put God first. Put God before friendship. Put God before work. Put God, even in the ministry, it's first about God. When you do that, God will sort everything out. He will raise the help that you will need. He will raise the counsel that you need, the friends that you need. I also do not have friends. I'm in an Anglican communion where they call pastors' wives Mama Yard. And what that simply means is that you are not your person, your home is not your person, you are everybody's mommy. Everybody calls you mommy. If the old women in the church call you mommy, and they look up to you for physical needs, for spiritual needs, for everything, and you can't turn people away. So you have to find it first in yourself. You have to carve a niche for yourself, so to speak. So the first question is, what's your niche? As a pastor's wife, as a person, as a Christian, as a lover of God, what is your niche? What has God called you to do? When you prayerfully take all of this before God, He will sort you out. I remember a story and we are keeping it real, right? And I'm sharing a personal experience. When I tell people that I used to be very shy, they wonder, you. And I'm sure those who know me here will be wondering, what on earth is she talking about? And I used to be shy. For the life of me, I can't stand on this stage. I probably would have fainted many times over. And then in church, growing in the spirit, belonging to ministry, Bible studies and things like that. And one midweek service, I was told, Mr. Additional, you are the one conducting service. And I'm like, me? And me, I'm only here to listen to and grow, And they said, no, we've done the roster. You are the one leading next week's service. I didn't go to church. I couldn't do it. And we're talking about a big church. It wasn't even a small church. If it was a small church that then I wasn't even, my husband wasn't a pastor yet. I didn't think, even in my mind, imagine I was going to be a pastor or a pastor's wife. I was just content with serving God in my own way, Shadura and Shami, go to church and everything and go back home. And then come and stand in front of big church. Then I was a member of Archbishop Vining Memorial Anglican Church, and you can imagine, coming to lead what? I didn't go to church. But for me, that was the breaking point. And I think it was from that point in my life that I knew that it was about me and God and nobody else. So while they were in church, calling and wondering, what has happened to Ms. Additional? I was agonizing on my knees at home. Because I felt so embarrassed, I felt so ashamed, and I said, God, is this what it is to serve you? Is this how it's going to be? And I spent time on my knees. All the while the Bible study was going on and the prayer fellowship, I was crying and weeping. And I had my peace at that time. And so just like you have said, I don't have friends. But at the same time, I have a lot of friends. I have so many friends. But at the same time, I don't have friends because I believe that whatever it is that anybody, and I'm sure a lot of pastors' wives feel that way, that when you share too much with people, they in turn use it against you. Yes. And so, instead of now hiding away, I have learned to be open with God. And what God just does is
he raises someone for. And so we must get to that point where it's first about God. It's first about him guiding you. It's first about him leading you. It's about him leading people to you. It's about him telling you, this is the way to walk ye in it. And I believe that when you open yourself up to God completely, totally, then you can be the person that you want to be. No pretenses, no acting, nothing at all. Even in the workplace, you can be the person that God ordained you to be. You just need to open up to him first and let him take care of the rest. Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. There is this question that I prepared ahead, and I think it's part of the question we should deal with. I'm sure it's going to help all of us as pastor's wife. It says, how do you ensure that ministry doesn't encroach on your marriage? This is another big stress, that we face, especially those who have just started ministry, for example. And I wrote here, I said, it is obvious that there will be an influx of people into the church. And these are the people of God that God expects the pastor's wife to disciple as mothers in his church. And I say that we must prepare ourselves. Now, wisdom is very crucial to managing this set of people. In Proverbs chapter 14, verse 1 says, every wise woman builds her church, but the foolish one plots it down with her hands. So how do we keep our privacy and avoid feeling exposed and vulnerable? There must be a balance so that there is no much encroachment. Now, Luke chapter 7:25 says, but what went ye out to see? A man clothed in soft raiment. Behold, they which are gorgeously apparelled live delicately, and they are in king's court. Now, there is always an expectation of glamour in a king's palace. Okay? And there is hardly any privacy in the king's court also. So I want us to remember that we are the queen of the palace, the first ladies in the palace of the church, of the ministry, and our husbands. So the king's court is a public place where various people come in and out frequently. And there are also some temporary and permanent staff. In other words, there are all these people, your staff in the office, the secretary of the pastor, the PA, all these people that, walk around to put things in order. Now, Queen Esther, that we're familiar with, could not have had the king to herself in her days, all alone. She had to share him with others and wait patiently for her turn. Okay? So, pastor's wife cannot afford to be possessive, knowing fully well that your husband is a public figure, a man of God and a man of the people. So Esther needed the services of those other people that I said to prepare the palace, to clean, to do many other things. So at such a time in our lives or in our ministry, we will also need people like this. So be encouraged if you have them. I know sometimes you have some difficult ones. You have some ones that, will make life difficult. But trust me, God sent you those people. And I want you to also know finally that your case may be peculiar if you live within the church premises, as you might have more than a handful to do after every church service. By the time you are trying to take a nap, someone is at the door again. So you must learn to accept and then to draw a line so that you cultivate the habit. Like somebody said also on this day, that give yourself a treat. Find time, like our sister said, love yourself. Have time for you and your children. Create time to have fun together with them so that you can enjoy your family time apart from all this church family time. Praise God.
An encouraging one. Make time for you and your families. Questions?
Good afternoon, ladies. I would like to ask that where and when can you really put a line between being mean and being real? And I will just say something. I come from, okay, maybe we started from a church where I felt there was so much love. I and they were willing to accept the love we gave. Then 7 years ago or thereabouts, we were transferred to another parish. And I went in there with all the love of Christ in me. As a person, I'm a very friendly person. I love, my house is open, I socialize, knowing fully well that pastor is more a solitary person. But along the line, I felt he needed to associate more. But you know, a pastor is having a wedding for a child, come with me, he doesn't want to go. His life was just like a triangle, home, work, church, the same way, back home, church, and like that. So I was the one really socializing. Then we got to this church and I felt, oh, maybe we needed to understand them. But at the point, I felt it can continue to be who you are, no matter who they are. I saw a trinity of selfishness, me, my own, myself. But we kept on loving until lately. Last year, pastor became very sick. And when I say very sick, it was worrisome because my husband is that kind of person that falls sick maybe probably once in 10 years. This is probably the third time he's getting sick since we got married 25 years ago. So I said, I thought it was going to pass, and it didn't pass. Eventually, it was a very challenging problem. In January, we had to go out to the US for heart surgery. We only just came back. And we had a situation like that. By next month, it's going to be 1 year. Pastor was not in church for 10 Sundays at the beginning. I noticed nobody came to knock on our doors. And I was going to church on Sundays. I was trying to fill in the gap. I was going, how is pastor feeling? You know, out of duty, they will ask you. How is pastor? It's fine, it's fine. Then after 10 Sundays, they told me after service, Mommy J, we are coming to your house. I said, which house? They said, we want to come and say, I said, which pastor? Then one of the pastors I respect, they sent that one to me. And he said, please, let them come. They let them come. He hasn't come. Now let them come. That the ministers and the workers want to come and see us. So I told them, you have 10 minutes. And I kept to that 10 minutes. Because one was praying and elongating her voice. I went to go and pinch her. And I said, it's enough. Your 10 minutes is almost over. You people should go. Fast forward to January when we decided we were going, we had to go to the US because he needed a major heart surgery. They knew in church. We pastor a church of about adults of almost 400 and, children put together. We're not a small parish. Only 3 people on their own reached out to us. Only 3 people. Then one day I saw one morning, we are keeping it real. Yes, so I cover this with the blood of Jesus. Anybody that goes out of here to talk about it, you're on your own with God. They sent 30,000 to my account. Here was I. Here was I. It's painful. Because by the time I was leaving the bank, I knew the kind of salary I was on. It was above 10 million in a year. Then somebody is sending 30,000 naira, a whole church, sending 30,000 naira to my account, and I asked, did you people make a mistake, or what do you want me to do for you? They now said, buy something for pastor. So I discountenanced him because I had more problems on my mind. Then we were trying to raise money to take him because all my vex money had gone. I'd had to clean out all my accounts, try to get him good medical care. Then we were going and somebody decided he was going to help. And he said, who are pastor's friends? Then reality set in that I was the only one with friends. My husband had no friends. The only 2 friends they had, I called them my brothers. And I'm almost believing that they are my brothers. So I didn't consider them friends. So I had to call those ones on my own. They already knew that we were going to the US. Then along the line, this man now started reaching out to my own friends And at the end of the day, it was my ex-colleagues and my friends that came up. Then we were away for so many months. I said we just came back. We just came back a few weeks ago. We were away for so long, and it was only like those 3 people in the church that were actually reaching out to me. How is Pastor doing? How is Pastor doing? And I said, don't we have other people in church? And they said, maybe they don't want to disturb you. Maybe they don't want to. So I came back a changed person. Then I resumed church, and some will say, please, can we come? And some are still so impolite, they won't ask you. They'll get to my gate and I will tell them, I'm inside the house. Pastor is at home, but I'm not in the mood to receive visitors. And I don't think Pastor, I will be the one to come and open the door for you now. So you can't see him. But along the line, I started hearing a still voice that would tell me that, Inka, because I had a book that I was writing how much you were spending. And I said, where did I see 52 million? I don't know. Then God said, with their 30,000, you have to add it to that list. Then you have to. And every time I look at that list, I'm even more upset. There is some of the, I have friends amongst them that are close to me, and some came and they said, Mommy J, you have changed. I said, how? And they kept on cataloging this and that, and I told them, I said, you want to hear the truth. And that is one part of me, even in practicing this meanness that I've not been, I like to say it the way it is. I said, you like it more. My spirit is not flowing again. And you get that call, pastor will keep reminding you, Inka, please, this is not you. This is not you. How do I, so that I don't cross that deadly line, that place of no return. That is
Praise the Lord.
And I think that for this session, all the panelists have something to say on this matter. So we'll take this as a question for this session, and then we'll continue. Thank you very much for sharing, for keeping it real.
Praise the Lord. You still have your husband. Everything that you have done is between you and God. It's not to them. So why we call you so that you can be healed? This can be the height of this meeting. That a whole soul like you is healed and restored back to your love life. Because we live in a generation where there is no love, no compassion. It's like hell. Everybody, that's why you need to know who you are talking to. Who, I used to say this jokingly that everybody come in the name of the Lord. Please, let's come in our name. Let me know you don't come in the name of the Lord. The Bible says all things work together for our good as long as you love God. Okay? So, in the middle of your test, now you are giving your testimony and we are rejoicing with you. So, you should be happy that despite all odds, despite everything that perhaps some people have been praying selfish prayers that this man should die, let us take, and God did not answer them. So, it is not your place to now hate them. Go and love, conquer them with love. If there is anyone that you need to apologize to by the way of your reaction, because it is not your part that the husband is living right now. So, please, go and amend. We are on our way to heaven and it is real. And unforgiveness, bitterness cannot enter. And all those people, it's just like the devil trying to distract you from your real you. So today you are being healed. As all of us are going to join our voice together, all our sisters are going to talk, they will pray for you. So, but don't forget, everybody should always come in their name. Nobody should come in the name of the Lord. Come in your name. Let's know you.
My sister, your goodwill is you don't buy it. You acquire it by what you do. Your nature is love. God took you there and showed you a sample because you have an assignment there. We'll pray for you. Power is coming to you today. And that power, you're going to go back and show them what love is. I perceive in my spirit. The Lord is going to deliver into you something. That's what it is. It's a ministry. It's a ministry of loving. And I'm speaking by prophecy, by God's grace. Prophetically, there's something about love God is putting in your hands. How to love people who are hurting. How to help people who are hurting. So you went through that wilderness to help you be what He's called you to be.
What came to my mind as you were talking, my sister? The Lord is my shepherd. The Lord is your shepherd. And He proved that to you. 52 million against 30,000 is incomparable. And you ask the question, where did it come from? The next thing I was going to say is, the human mind is essentially, the human being, essentially very selfish. And that applies even to all of us. It's only by the grace of God that some of us have passed a certain level of selfishness. But first of all, it's always about me, myself, and I. And so when I see people in church doing the kind of things that you have talked about, I really am not surprised. In fact, if I don't see it, I'm afraid. Because it means there's a lot of action and, some real situations. But then you are in a position, and by the grace of God, for all of us as children of God and as pastors' wives, that God has placed that grace upon us to love in the face of such actions or such meanness. Then finally, my sister, I always say this. The core of who you are does not depend on what people external to you do to you. So being mean, you should not allow it. I know you are hurting, and we will pray. Because we know that that's a trick of the devil. It's a lie of the devil. So we will pray that God should restore you to that position of love. God should restore you to a place where you will use this situation to minister love in the church. But meanness is not being real. And meanness is not in the DNA of a child of God.
Praise the Lord. As you were talking, what God laid in my heart is that it was for a purpose that the church people didn't reach out to you. It was for a purpose. That they gave you just 30,000 naira, it was for a purpose. And I want to believe that the purpose is that so that in future, they won't come and say, if not for the money we gave him, we are here. We go to hospital here. Why do they want to fly to America? You know how people think. Why can't they use the hospital here in Nigeria? Must they go to America? It was for a purpose. Because they will have taken the glory. Who could believe that you could raise 52 million? Imagine what they would have been saying now if the money had come from the church. Church there's no money in church. We've spent all the money, the church money, to transport the pastor and his family to America. You know what they will be saying. So God had a purpose for that to take place in your life. And we've seen it now. That ministry to reach out to those who are hurting, God is giving it to you. It is well in Jesus' name.
There's one thing I'd like to say with permission. There was one thing I heard that you spoke about. You started from your husband leads a triangular life, and you're the one that was going to all the functions. And I heard some almost resentment that all your goodwill, all your friends, you sort of maxed out what you would have had for even your children and all that. So please, can we put that also in prayer? That also needs to be healed.
This is my desire to honor you, Lord, with all my heart. I worship you. All I have within
responsibility first. If I don't know the responsibility, how do you hold me accountable for it? Okay. So, very early, well, like most people, I didn't realize what the responsibility was. I grew up in the Baptist background where the pastor's wife was the pastor's wife, not the wife of the church and not the mother of the church, because you have the Women's Missionary Union, the Women's Missionary Society, and they had presidents, they had elections, they had presidents, and whoever the president and executives were, they would carry out the mission and the vision. If the pastor's wife did not want to lift a finger, she didn't have to. So when I didn't marry a pastor, and we both came out of the Baptist church, but he joined the Anglican church before I really met him. Oh, I want to become a priest, I've been called. No problem, I'll be praying for you. I know how to pray. Then he was to be screened, and apparently he was to go and see the bishop who would screen him. And so he was to travel to Ondo, was it Ondo? Owo. And you know, the day before, he was at work and I was somewhere else, and he called me and said, that trip to Owo, he doesn't want to go alone, come with me now. He didn't tell me I was going to be interviewed. And when I met the bishop, we were asked to sit at the table. It was lunch hour when we arrived. Oh, let's have lunch. And he spoke to us, his wife gave us lunch. Then he said, am I aware he wants to become a priest? I said, yes, he said so. That, am I in support? I said, of course, that he wants to do God's work. Oh, the bishop said he's very happy to hear that coming from me. That because many wives are not in support, they don't encourage their husbands, they rise against him, even after they've joined. I said, The bishop did not know that I was not briefed about my responsibilities. And the person who should have briefed me did not say a word. He was there. So what are my responsibilities? I found out later that first of all, I am the support and the pillar of the pastor. I am also to play my own role. And in the Anglican Church, you automatically become the president of the Mothers Union, the Women's Guild, the Girls Guild, Ladies Guild, Boys Guild, and bless your soul, if it's a new church and you're all starting the church together, you will start the children's department, whether you like it or not. Oh, did I tell you, you're also matron of Boys Brigade and Girls Brigade? And you will take, Abby, and I'm touching you. And you will pack all these children, you will organize parish functions for them. You will pack them to the archdeaconry functions. I don't know what that is in Redeemed, you know. We have groups of churches with an archdeacon on it. And then that archdeacon reports to the bishop who sits on the entire diocese. And so you province and zonal and all those things. And then you will now take them for diocesan events. And if your children are very good, oh, clap for yourself, because they will take you for the provincial events. That is Nigeria. Nobody told me. Then I have to keep the home and take the day-to-day decisions because Daddy is busy with the Lord. I had to decide which one is a rubber ball, which one is a glass ball, which one is a semi-glass ball. You see, the rubber ball is easy. If you drop it, it will come back up. Let me tell you something. Okay, so let's help ourselves. Don't let me do all the talking. Out of these three, which one is a glass ball? Pure glass. Pure glass. 3 balls. You have your husband's ministry, your role in the ministry, then you have the home, your children, the family. Which one is a glass ball? If it drops, it falls, it breaks. I'm hearing everybody crossing home. If you say home is a glass ball, say yay. Yay. If you say nay, say nay. The years have it. So, that aside. Now, ministry. Your husband's ministry, your role in the ministry. Is it a glass ball or semi-glass ball, or a rubber ball? Husband's ministry, which one is it? Semi-glass, okay. Your role in the ministry? Rubber ball. Rubber ball. Rubber ball. So, the children first. The children first. So when we got into ministry, of course, our children were very little. They were nursery ages. I didn't do 2 services. No. He will go and conduct the 7 a.m. service, and then we will come for 10 a.m. service. When we finish 10 a.m. service, I tell him bye, see you later, I'm gone with the kids. I did not schedule Sunday meetings. When the diocese scheduled Sunday meetings, I was not there. I'm sorry. That's the way that I could handle it. And when anybody says, I want Mrs. Abelusi, I say, you know, that combining my work and all of this, how do you think I do it? Do you know I fly on Sundays too? Yes. Then I tell them, you know something? Show me another clergy wife in the world who is a pilot. I want to learn how she handles it. Then they back off. They back off. Because you know something? I am not the priest. Services will go on whether or not I am there. I am not part of the order of service at all. So I'm not going to bend over backwards to please those who are just spectators and judging your lifestyle by what the preacher is preaching. Now, so what do I do? Delegate. If you do not have an assistant pastor's wife, and for like 11 years or so we didn't have, there are church members who are zealous and ready to work for God. I delegated a lot to them. We had zones, okay, and would have people in that area visiting whoever was ill or wasn't in church. If you notice that someone isn't in church for 2 weeks, please call me. I will organize the people in that zone to go and visit. We did a lot of things. Then when it comes to the archdeaconry, the zonal engagements, I did a roster. 12 months in a year. I listed all the women in church and did a roster. Okay? We divided the list of women into 12. So you know what month of the year is your turn to represent the church at these zonal and area events. And it would only be your turn once a year. So even you would not be burdened, because I came across a lot of people who were tired of the traditional society meetings here, church, and I'll tell them, I don't have the time either. So let's share this responsibility. And it worked well. In fairness to them, I must give it to them, it worked well. If we have anything to do, we share the responsibility into groups. We have church picnics, jollof rice group, chicken group, this group. And some people will come, you didn't put me in any group, you didn't put me in any group, and they are eager. Oh, I enjoyed them, I won't lie. Now, the pastor. You know, when God created, was done with creation, he made all the animals and then made Adam. And the Bible says that all the animals passed before Adam and he named them. But there was none suitable for him. And God said, I have to create a helper, not helpmeet. I don't know where King James was seated when he wrote that part. Helper. Because it is the same word that is used in Psalm 121. I lift up my eyes to the hills from whence comes my help. It's the same word. So how does it become helpmeet? Helper. Who does the pastor talk to? We heard all the panelists. Who does he talk to? Nobody. Somebody just said a husband lives a triangular life. It is true. Mine as well. We're the same. We're in the same boat. I used to ask, where are your friends? if anything happens to you, who should I go and call? Eventually, we were able to get his secondary school classmates. And just this December, I volunteered to organize a sit-out for them and brought everybody to my house. And I told them, I said, I'm happy to meet all of you. So I know who to call if my husband has a problem. Because otherwise you'll be calling priests who themselves need help. Mrs. Akiola, Mrs. Adeshina, you see this? We need it all in our... You see, the call out we just did, the altar call, if you do it in the Anglican church, everybody will come out. Everybody will come out. Everybody will come out. So, I am the one who sees to his spiritual formation. Yes. Have you prepared your sermon? Are you ready? You're preaching tomorrow. What topic are you talking about? Do you need resources? I found some things online. Oh, I got some books for you. Are you okay? Who will help you hold your robes? And if he oversleeps sometimes, one Sunday morning, I woke up. I wake up by 5 a.m. every day. So I had woken up, did my devotion, and gone back to bed. Or maybe I did a vigil or something, but I just saw that, I was comfortable in bed, the sun was rising, and then I closed my eyes again. Then I thought, what is today? You see, for me, in aviation, there are no weekends, no public holidays. Okay, so I could be off on a weekday when you're at work. So I'm not sure what is weekend. I have to wake up and say, 1, where am I? 2, what's today? What's today's day? Sunday! Are you not going to do? And how he jumped up, entered bathroom, walked out, everything just happened, and he was gone. See, those days come. So, I am the one also who will listen to his sermon and then do sermon clinic after. Your introduction was this. The body was okay, but you could have added this. Oh, wow, it was superb. The way you said blah, 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 blah. You have to do sermon clinic for him. What about continual improvement? Then what about people needing visitations? And when he can't go, they expect that the pastor's wife will come. Abi? You're the moderator. You're this, your husband, your father, you're everything. You're the pastor of the pastor. He needs to talk, he needs to confide in someone, he will come to you. So if you did not see it like that before, begin to see it like that from today. That you are the pastor of the pastor. The pastor is human. Forget that some people think he's God's PA. Man of God is man before he's God. He has pressures, he has distractions, he has infatuations too. So you are the pastor of the pastor. You are the one praying for him. I remember the first vicar we served under. He said, madam, welcome to ministry. Did they tell you, you're the one who will be saying the prayer? Can you see us? We don't pray. We don't have time to pray. We need you to be praying for us. Yes. He said, we have to read Bible, we have to do Bible study, we have to do prayer meeting, we have to go for visitation, we have to do this, hospital visits, blah, 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 preparing for this, then meetings, then that. He said, where's the time to pray? And so you're the one who will be praying. I said, You see, I had no mentors because the people I met in ministry 20 years ago, there was a huge generational gap between me and them. They were the real mama yards. You know where the name was derived from? the wife of the priest who lived in the yard. You know, traditionally, pastors lived in the churchyard where the pastorate or the vicarage is. And their wives were a bit learned. It was always those who read Standard 3, Modern 6, I don't know what it was called those days. They could read and write. And they were the Alaka way of those days. So pastors usually married them. They were happy to be that. They took care of the churchyard, the mothers of the churchyard, and so Iya yard, Mama yard, and it stuck for decades. Now those women were the Mama yards, and they would be big. In their hats and their suits and their, you know, their dressing was. Don't go there, eh? Okay. So when you call for a meeting, I was always the odd one out. Even if I wasn't wearing uniform, I would be the tiniest, thinnest. I'll just sit somewhere at the back and be looking at them. Their ideas were not of my world. Everything they said and planned, you know, they were happy with it. It was their world. It was their grand achievement, a lifetime achievement. There was nothing you could say to them. If you ask them any question, you could just guess the kind of answer they give you. So I never went near them at all. So I had to chart my own course. And for me, personally, I'm never afraid of anything. I don't believe that there's anything that can come before me that cannot be tackled, because I am a daughter of the Most High. There is nothing you want to say to me. There is no problem. Albert Einstein said that there is no problem that can withstand the constant battering of the human mind. You will crack it. And then nobody comes to intimidate me. Not parishioner, nobody. Don't let them. Develop your own confidence. The job you have taken up requires confidence, strength. You're a warrior. For missiles, spiritual missiles to get to the pastor, it would have to pass through you. You are the bulletproof. So you can't afford to be weak and, and over tender. Let your tenderness be limited to the way you swag. After that, be vicious in the spirit. Because it's church, and I like my mommy. She said, don't come in God's name. Come in your name. If you hear the names, you will run. Yes. But Jesus said, I have not come for those who are well, I've come for the sick. The church is filled with sick people. The church is filled with sick people. Which is everybody congregates in church, and they will fire missiles at you. So be ready. How many people know that the consequences of a man's decisions and indecisions is directly borne by his wife and children? Yes. So you better be praying. A leader's sin is a leading sin. Whatever he does, you will pay for it. So start praying that he does good. You can't rest. You can't sleep. Then your own responsibilities, like I said. Look at your schedule. For me, I take my roster in a month. My life was very regimented. I use the word was because at the moment, we're not in any parish, and I'll get to that. Very regimented. When I'm at work, it's there on my schedule. And before the days of smartphones where you could have calendars and things on the phone, I used to just draw a timetable and paste it on the wall in front of my room. I know when I'm flying, which days I'm cooking, which days I'm doing church work. And when I say church work, there's also the paperwork, keeping accounts, the money. Please, never borrow church funds. Please. Please. It could embarrass you when you least expect. Borrow from a friend, but don't touch the church funds. there was a lot of admin work, paperwork. I had the time for all of that. I even had time for siesta for each day. My life was that regimented. How many more minutes? Oh, over. My gist is over. Okay. If you are the type of person who is scattered, you're not organized. You have to learn organization. No. You have to. The children, it's a whole lot of work. See, you're a mother, you're a wife, and then you're a working class woman. And that's a standard woman, isn't it? That's a standard woman. Now, you now add pastor's wife to your own, clergy wife. A clergy wife, being a clergy wife is a full-time job. From morning till night. Sometimes in the middle of the night, they wake you up. You get calls. Somebody's about to break somebody's head. My husband will run there. Somebody, a notorious couple. One night, I said, you know what? You're not going. Tell her to kill him. Tomorrow morning, we'll conduct the funeral. If she thinks he's so worthless, kill him. If I had killed mine, they won't see him to call. Kill him. Tell her the vicar's wife says, kill him fast. Okay, calm down. Okay, we all calmed down, but nobody went out that night because it's in the middle of the night. Well, I didn't hear from them after that time, but they're still married till today. This was 11 years ago. She should have killed him. Oh, you get calls. The call that I'll never forget was a call one night. It was a Saturday night, and this couple had just got married that day.
Wow.
Brother, yes, brother, are you all right? You know, it was my husband talking, and of course his pillow is next to mine, so even if I'm sleeping and I'm hearing everything, okay, blah, 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 okay, let us pray. And my husband prayed, and believe me, I could not make head or tail of the prayer. I did not see what he was asking God to do. So, amen, drop the phone. Was that not brother who just, I didn't open my eyes, who just got married today? Is this not their wedding night? What's the problem? He said they're having problems. What problems? He said, please. I said, what problems? He said, she's crying, they're having problems. I said, dude, so what did you pray about? What should God have come to do? Make a way. Make a way. I said, you know why that guy called you? He said, I said, because he knows you have children. And your children were definitely not born by immaculate conception. You know, so he knows you know the way. And you were supposed to tell him how to get. He said, please let me sleep. This is how you women talk. I said, what do you mean how you women talk? I said, you just told that guy he was hungry and you said it is well with you. God, I said, you give him food. My friend, tell him how you make your way. You have children, he knows you know the way. So he called the man back. He said, what should I tell him? There's baby oil, there's, but tell him how the way is. You get all kinds of calls. People think that the pastor and his wife have all the answers. You better read well and have all the answers. So be prepared. But you've got to be strong. You're in the war front. If a church is failing, everyone will say, where is the pastor? Who is the pastor of that church? If the pastor is failing, everyone will say, where is his wife? Accountability. So now we've defined the responsibilities. I hope that from the way I handled mine and my story, you've learned a bit how to shuffle your own responsibilities. Don't let the glass ball drop. Don't let the glass ball drop. You can drop the rubber ball. It will bounce back. When you call it back up, you pick it up again. Then it comes to the point where, and I'm closing, the pastor gets tired. As in the pastor of the pastor, not the reverend. The pastor of the pastor, you get tired. And I got tired. got tired. First, I went on a 1-month leave. Away from church, I didn't want to hear anything church. I left the clergy wives to be handling it. I told them I was on leave. They said, are you on leave from work? I said, no, I'm on leave from this ministry. And I remember the clergy wife who asked me, she's there. She had never had that kind of thing before. She was the daughter of a bishop's wife. She was born into the vicarage. And now she's a pastor's wife. And I saw her looking into the skies. You know, she had never, I said, I'm taking a break from ministry. But you see, that break was reflective. And at the end of that break, you know, I decided I needed time away from this ministry. And I started, oh Lord, get me out of here. Yes, our sister said she had 3 hours recession and it felt like 3 weeks. I needed to get out of ministry. I didn't want to hear church anymore. I needed to get out. And so I started praying, get me out of here.
My own experience has been that, you know, it's like you're spending so much of your finances on, you know, church work. You go somewhere, there's a need, and you know, we had an experience a few years ago. We had a property, and the church had a need, and my husband felt that he was being led by God to sell the place and use the. Till today, I still feel bad about it. Yes, sometimes I ask him, I say, you know, what is the commensurate? Is there a point at which we say no? Sometimes I feel it's emotional giving. I don't know how to explain it. Because I think we should also prepare for our own retirement. So how do we balance it? How do I get him to see that, you know, it's as if sometimes I'm the devil. It's like, you know, let's just give, you know, the Lord will bless us. The children are doing well, that's the blessing of God. How many times I've gone to hospital, that's the blessing of God. But I think beyond that, we should be able to, you know, have something for ourselves. So how do I balance it? How do we balance it?
Good afternoon, everybody. I don't know whether I'm short to hear my voice. Yeah, my question is to Pastor Dr. Good afternoon, everybody.
Just bring the camera. We are not very sure.
Good afternoon, everybody. My question is going to Pastor Namti. When you got married to your husband, I was expecting. Okay, let me put it this way. Pastor Bibo Chibudikaya was there before you got married to your. I'm being real. Yes. No offense, nothing. I'm just asking a question. Right. Pastor Bibo Chibudikaya was there before you got married, and I look at us as pastors' wives. Being even there, you're not accepted. You know, you coming in after she as pastor. How were you accepted?
Hello. Good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon. So, I've not been married up to a year to a pastor, and there's like an underlying note of like no friends, loneliness, and resentment are hurt. So my thing is, hurt keeps happening. We've called someone out to pray for her. What happens if it happens again? How does she deal with it? How do we deal with it? Is it only about going in the prayer closet to pray? Someone mentioned that, you know, she didn't have kids and she couldn't even pray with her church, you know? And that's sad. It's scary. Like, why can't we be vulnerable with our church? Do you understand? Like, some other lady came, it gave me chills that her, you know, the pastor would say, okay, maybe you were undermining me. And I've seen some of these signs, right? How do we deal with those things? Are there people talking to the men? Because can we really do it all? Like, I mean, the Holy Spirit is there, but like, you know.
But like you know how loaded that is. But loaded, like loaded, you know loaded.
Okay, finances.
very, very important. Your husband will retire someday, and you must have something to fall back on. He'll either retire or God will call him home if he goes first. And you must have something to fall back on. Before you talk about retiring, also know that God can call a spouse home earlier than that. In the Anglican Church, the day that priest dies is the end of the ministry. The wife, if they're living in the vicarage, is required to move out immediately. Yes, we're real. Even the Nigerian police force is not that bad. The parishioners will be the one to tell the bishop, please, they're not asking where the person living there is going. No. So, please, you need to sit with your husband and have a financial planning meeting. Short term and long term. Just say, honey, matters are rising. This is what we'll keep. This is what we'll save. This is what we'll invest towards school fees, our house, blah, blah, blah. Maybe every envelope we get, 20% must go into these savings, 20% into the children's savings. But you have to plan, whichever way you want to plan. And then you are the umpire. When the Holy Spirit leads somebody to go and touch our gratuity, Holy Spirit has to tell both parties. If the Holy Spirit is not telling both parties, because in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses a word is established, then that first party has not heard well. He or she has to go back and ask again, Holy Spirit, what did you say? We've got to be real. We've got to be real. If not, life, when it happens to us, will be very real and will be very short. Where in church, for me, I'm in church to minister. If I get ministered to in church, it's just a blessing and it's just a bonus. I don't go there expecting things from them. I've come to bless them. I have friends, my own friends, outside church, where I can be real every day. I have an emergency, I'm not going to call anyone in church. Please, network, we need to do it here. We need each other. We need each other. The key word here for me is interdenominational. That is what works. Because you can't do it within the Anglican setting. It's a problem. You can't do it within the Redeemed setting. It's a problem. So this interdenominational thing is a blessing. God bless you. Have your own friends, your own network of intercessors. I have my network of intercessors. And in different parts of Nigeria and the world. And when I need confirmation, if one intercessor is saying something that another intercessor thousands of miles away is saying, then you know that we're on track. So you've got to build, in quotes, your own kingdom, your own fortress. And church people cannot be in that fortress. So finances, very key. The church does not pay gratuity. I don't know any church that pays pension and gratuity. Please, if you are there, tell me so I can move my husband. I'm sorry. So they live by faith. They don't have gratuity. They are the just. They live by faith. You've got to plan. Let's learn from the ants. You have to plan. Like I always ask, if from the first day you started work, you've saved 10% of your earnings somewhere, how rich will you be today?
Praise the Lord. It's a very good question. It has such a long, long answer. But I'd just like to say that I got married to a man of wisdom. He, from the first day that I came here, he protected me. He made sure that he only exposed me to people he understood, he knew. I mean, sometimes I would kind of complain, you know, feeling like I'm being caged. And they would say, you're not Nigerian, I'm Nigerian. I know what is happening here. And I got to understand this time, okay, So, and each year that passes by, he exposes me to more people because he feels that I understand more of the Nigerian culture. As he sees that I understand, he opens me up to more. So when I first came, I didn't even know what people thought about me. I was just me. I was just like, I just came to get married to him. And with time, I'm just learning now that, oh, some people were not actually happy. I was like, oh, okay. By nature, I'm just unassuming. I think it just helps that I'm just there. My motto is just enjoy your life. Like, wherever God has put you, you are you, just do you. So it's after a while, some people would call me, like maybe wishing me a happy birthday. They would be saying like, oh wow, I'm so happy, you know, I love you now. At first I didn't love you because I loved Pastor Bibo so much. I didn't think I would accept you, but I love how you are, how you are this and that. They would say the qualities that I have. And I was like, oh really? Then I understood that there were some people who already, I knew that they just loved me. And I now know that those who understood God fully, and God's timing and God and seasons of life, those are the ones who were praying for Pastor when he lost Pastor Bimbo. Those are the ones who accepted me and loved me. Because they knew what it was in God's hands. Everything was in God's hands. And those who were complaining, who were not happy, who felt like I came to take Pastor Bimbo's place, they didn't understand God. That's my own understanding. That you don't understand God, you don't know His ways. You just need Jesus. That's all. So it is not really my problem. And then there were those who were in a hurry to see what my ministry would be. And my husband was like, your problem, you guys, is you didn't know people before she became a pastor. You just knew her as a pastor. You didn't know her when she was my wife, just raising my children. You just knew her then. So I leave Nomti alone. Give her time to be my wife, to raise my children. And thankfully, I'm an educationist, and I learned 3 principles. One of them is the first year, how I learned. The first year, we didn't go anywhere. We just learned how the methods of teaching, this and that, how to teach children. We have, there are lots. I'm not going into details. The second year, we were sent forth to schools to observe. First year we observed. We went to observe. We were sent to schools to observe. The second year, teaching practice with the teacher. With the teacher, you were not allowed to be alone. The third year, you could now stand by yourself, and the lecturers will come and critique you and supervise you and give you and see if you are ready to be a teacher. So I learned that. I'm happy God made me go through that process, because when I go to Fountain, I was not in a hurry to stand up and say anything. Observation period. How have they been doing things here? Let me sit down. Those who have been leading everything, let them continue leading. I'm not here to take anybody's position. So in that way, everybody was at ease. They didn't feel like, oh, she has come to take her place. No, continue with your place. Continue with your ministry. I was there, and when the time was right, and I also felt that this is the time now is right. I even prayed to God. I was like, I think now I need to start doing something in church. And I didn't even tell my husband. One day he just got up and told the congregation, God has told them that I should do A, B, C, D. I was startled. I was like, God is awesome. So it is, I learned that it is the best thing to be comfortable in your own skin. No matter what, everybody has gifted us with different gifts. So you come and do your own gift and bless the people of God. I think I will just end there.
Very much. Now this is the question that, you know what she's talking about. The loneliness, the hurt, the insecurity. I was talking to some of the junior Mamayads from our parish, and I told them I was going to call them out. So I'm glad that somebody very young, very at the beginning, even I, because I'm not a pastor's wife, I can see that there's unanimous agreement that your prayer point, it's unanimous, like all of you. And this is a new pastor's wife saying, this is a bit scary for me. You mean I can't trust? You mean I can't give any prayer point? Now you want to help her so she doesn't have to walk in the shoes that you've had to walk in, but she needs that explanation of why, the protection, why to stay safe. So who wants to build that cat? And I think seniors from the floor can also want to build the cat because she needs that. Her voice was trembling by the end. She needs to understand this loneliness, the hurt, and almost the fear, the insecurity of, you mean I'm not, what's ahead?
Well, there's always a beginning. There's always a time when something is new. That's what my sister is saying right now. It's the truth that people in church will get that you're human. The congregation would not remember quickly that, oh, you're human. So because of that, they don't expect to hear you complain. They don't expect to hear you say you have one issue or the other. And because you are a laborer in the Lord's vineyard, you're also being careful so that nobody would look at you and say, oh, if this is what is happening to the pastor's wife, then what is my hope? So because of that, wisdom predicts that you keep some things away from the congregation. Because we all have different levels of faith. What your faith is strong enough to handle, another lady in the congregation's faith might not be strong enough to handle it. For example, if for any reason the pastor's wife is down with cancer, if the pastor goes ahead to tell the congregation that his wife is dealing with cancer, what do you think will happen to that church? That church will be divided. The people that are strong in faith will get up immediately and start interceding for the pastor's wife. Then the people that have ulcer will say, if cancer is battling the pastor, what am I doing here? Let me go. There's no hope for me. So that's why we don't go all out to say whatever it is that we're facing as pastor's wife. Because we're also considering the faith of people that are weak in the congregation. So we would rather have this discussion with our mentors. It's also good to have a mentor with older pastors' wives who is also stronger in faith. Then we can go up to them and tell them the issues we're facing. And they would also be able to connect us with other women that are stronger in faith, and they will intercede for us. And the church does not need to know all about this. Yes. They don't need to know. Okay. Now, my husband keeps saying to me that he once read an interview with Creflo Dollar, and that in his church they have a basketball team or something. So the young men were asking him that, how come you don't play basketball with us? And he said that, I'm a pastor. If I play basketball with you, you will insult my anointing. Yes, because during the game of basketball, you might want to tackle me or do something, and that will bring me down to your level, so to speak. So because of the anointing, I keep myself away. I will cheer you, I will support you, but for me to get on the court and play basketball with you, no. That was what he said. While you find some other pastors that don't think it's a big deal, and I agree too, it's not a big deal. There's nothing wrong with you, joining the game of basketball with your congregants. But if you feel that doing that would mean them disparaging you, not giving you the due respect, well, so to you, my dear sister, that is what it's about, really. And I know that you're not alone. We have all passed through this same track of life. We've all had our passions when we were much younger. Because when I got married to my husband, he was already a pastor. I wasn't. I came into Redeem, I didn't know what to expect. And by the time I had the older women badgering me here and there, I had to find my level. If I had to quickly shine my eyes and be like, look, they can't be bouncing you about like a ball, but they will still do. They can't be bouncing you about like a rubber ball. They will do, but you just have to grow up quickly. You have to grow up quickly in the things of the Spirit. Yes. Firstly, you have to grow up quickly in the things of the Spirit. You might be young, but don't be young in the things of the Spirit. Do not be young in the things of the Spirit. Because when they can perceive that you have the greatness of the Holy Spirit on the inside of you, they will not be badgering you about. Then you'll be able to tell who you can be friends with, even in the congregation, and those that you should just keep at a Jesus arm length. Yes, you're not being proud, you're not being hostile, but you just know that you need to put the boundaries in place. And there must be boundaries. There must be boundaries. Your secret should not be everybody's open secret. There must be boundaries. Praise the Lord. I hope I've answered that question well enough.
I once listened to a message many years ago, stratifying the congregation into the crowd, the congregation, the committed, and the poor. I'm glad that at the end, you still said that you would know with discernment and wisdom of the Holy Spirit who and who you can be friends with, because the unanimous, because I have to speak for the congregation, I'm alone here. I have to speak for the congregation. There are congregation members that love you and that you can trust. Good to know. Yes.
Hello everyone. Okay, so I became a pastor's wife very early. I think just 23, and that was 1 year into our marriage. In fact, I was in labor with my first child, and my husband sent a message that, oh, you know, I've been ordained as a pastor. And I'm like, which call is that? Why do you have to pick that call? It's not now, you pick it. I prayed to marry a pastor, but I was thinking that maybe after 10 years of marriage, you know, not like 1 year. So it happened like that. But thankfully and luckily for me, or you know, I'm blessed. My mom is also a pastor's wife, and she's here in the congregation as well. So growing up, in fact, in the Redeemed Church, I think they said that I was the first child that was, you know, given birth to in the Keja family. So basically, I was born into the pastor's wife and pastor's home, right? So I'd watched my mom, you know, gracefully be a pastor's wife, you know, so consciously, unconsciously, I've learned the way she handles things. You know, sometimes I'm wondering, is this woman even human at all, right? But, so I learned, right? So when I became a pastor's wife, I wasn't scared. I knew that I had someone that I could confide in, or you know, if I'd not pick up some things while growing up or watching her, I knew that I can call and I will ask, and I know that she would answer me. So I wasn't scared at all. The only issues that my husband and I, you know, have, you know, concerning being a pastor's wife. So I'm an entrepreneur, you know, in career. I'm a mom, everything. And so he used to complain until we sat down one day and we had to trash everything, because he was hot and I was hot at the same time. But he was thinking that my own hotness was not valid, and I was thinking that he too, his hotness wasn't valid. So what was the complaint? Complaint was he thought that I wasn't doing so much in church, right? I wasn't supporting enough. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't understand. I'm really supporting you, right? Is it people at church members are doing something, you know, I send you a gift, you know, or, you know, I'm really helping. What do you mean? So that day, you know, when the living room I was crying, what do you mean I don't support? Are you serious? So he was like, yeah, you don't support, you know, evangelism, you're not out there, you know, you're not. I'm just like, so I didn't know that as much as possible, right, we have like a cordial relationship, you know, we talk about things, but I didn't know that had been really a thing on his mind. And he was like, I know that your mom cannot be like this. Can you talk to me? I said, okay. No problem, I'm here. But if you didn't come, we have this agreement that no matter the situation, we sort it out within ourselves. So we trashed it out, and I apologized. I said, I didn't know that you were feeling this way. And me, on my own part, I thought I was giving you so much support. But guess what? Like, you know, in my own little way, just have to allow me come into, you know, what you want me to, how you want me to support. Okay, how do you want me to support, right? Say, you know, I make you head of this, you know, you are not following up properly. And I'm like, you know, I have work, I have the children, you know, all of that. So we came into, you know, an agreement, and that, you know, really helps.
In terms of friendship, I'm actually okay with everybody in church. So, I'm at peace with everyone. I'm really cordial. I'm happy with everyone. When anyone wants me, I take it up to God. I tell the person that, oh, I did like what you did. Right? Not in a bad way, right? I find the wisdom to do so that I don't begin to resent the person, right? I really want to love everyone. So I love everyone, and I love everyone genuinely. But I don't get it because I got married into that church. That's why I don't have best friends in that church. I have sisters, right, that I pray with every single morning. So yeah, so if I'm going to have any issues or I need, something, I already have a link, a network, people that are there that when I pray about it this morning, by tomorrow morning I'm giving testimony in that group. Someone is in Elevation Church, someone is in Guiding Light, someone else is, so I'm the only one in Redeem, right? But it doesn't take away the fact that I don't have friends in my own church. I have friends in my church, but it's not like we are close, we're not tight. We have women, we have hangouts, that I organize, because we are youth, right? And I also mentor some younger ones in our church. So they are like in the 21, 22, and thank you.
So, what I'd like to say is, don't feel sorry for yourself. Accept this, your new status. This is who you are now. Yeah, I know it's not easy, but it is a sacrifice. And God has called you to be the pastor's wife. So you have to accept it and own it. And why I'm saying that, because there was one time I was like, when I came to Nigeria, I was not afraid of anything. In fact, I was happy because I had prayed. God prepared me. I didn't even remember I was not in my country. But one day, the devil is not happy with that. One day I looked around. I was like, oh my goodness. I'm all by myself. Oh my. I don't know anyone. What happened? So I was like, how can I be in a country where I don't know anybody? I'm just alone. The devil wanted me to feel sorry for myself he wanted me to feel like I was out of place. But the Holy Spirit helped me and reminded me, no, accept who you are. This is where I have placed you. So no matter the challenges, your life is not going to be the same as every other woman in church. Your life is what God has given you. Embrace it. Love it. This is who you are now, and every other thing will fall into place in Jesus' name.
Thank you very much. All good things must come to an end. There's a question, a very deep one, on financial issues, and I'd like to ask the anonymous writer to please see Mrs. Agbelusi, because she's very structured and detailed to handle that. I put that in her care. But it's been such an honor to spend today with you. Thank you very much, PL. Thank you very much, everybody.
Let's put our hands together for our panel. And our moderator, you can't leave yet. We will have the president and the chairman of Ipwf come up. But before we do that, I would just like to acknowledge the presence of the president of the president. What do you call the husband of president? The president of the president. Pastor Femi Atoyebi, S.A.N. Let's put our hands together. Behind every successful woman, there is a strong man. A strong man. He's still my pastor. God bless you, sir. We would like you to come up and join this photograph session. Please, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Where are the photographers? And so while that is happening, we will have the ushers. Where is Madam Fix-It? Fantastic job you are doing. In fact, I will come and learn on that. Madam Fix-It, we will guide everybody to lunch now. Remember, we said after lunch we'll have the games and the prizes will be taken away. So please don't go. We don't want our food to go too cold. And while you are off to lunch, please remember to talk to someone that you have not talked to today. Those of you who came out, Pastor, okay. Those of us who came out and we prayed and were prayed for, please, we would like your phone numbers. We know that the Executive Council will be calling you from time to time and you can share with them your issues. Please, please, please don't go away without dropping your number. So please, we would like everybody to just rise up and, don't rise up when the ushers get to you and begin to go downstairs. From the back, from the back. let's begin to go one step, one level. The level right below us. The hall has been set for lunch. Please, let's go for lunch, and after lunch we can come back upstairs. Please take your bags with you. What time? How long is lunch? Are you going now? Don't go out. Go for lunch. Go for lunch. We'll tell you after lunch. Come upstairs. We'll come and meet you. So eat very quickly. The master's job requires haste. Yes, it's Passover meal. Remember how the Passover meal was eaten? Eat it like that. Haste. The luxury cruise, the Royal Caribbean luxury cruise. I will read a little bit about the cruise when I get downstairs. As you are eating, I'll be titillating your ears with information about the cruise. Two people, your husband and yourself only. Stateroom, 4 nights, all meals paid for. And this price is valid for 3 months, so it's not like you want to go immediately. So when you get it, remember you are supposed to be praying. I know the council is praying already. Ipwf council, please be praying that the right person that needs this holiday will get it. And I want to give you a hint. I think I am. The Holy Spirit will minister to you who needs it. I'm just telling you, my own spirit is saying it's me. So let's go for lunch quickly, please. Say hello to someone beside you. Hug somebody. Love up on somebody. What a wonderful, wonderful day. What a wonderful day. What a wonderful way to spend your day. What a wonderful, wonderful way to spend our day.